Hey guys, I will be replying to Arjun. He did the same debate as me, the border wall debate, except he did his in favor of the border wall. So, um, some of the things he said were, well, I guess he said he was talking about immigration, how it's immigration and border security are not the same, but they do coincide in my opinion. But he was like, illegal immigrants are good, hardworking people, but we don't want them to come here illegally. Correct. But his way of correcting that was for a border wall. Um, Basically, he blames not visa wait times, but the fact that you have to pay cartels to cross sometimes from Mexico to the United States. But also the other way around, and that's how some of human trafficking happens. Um, he blames this on the porous border. Um, Obviously, like guns and ammunition can come through the ports of entry, kind of like I said in my last video. But in my opinion, there's no way to arm consistently 1,900 miles of land. That's how far the border is from, well, that's how far the border wall would have to be. And at least from what I've seen, the section of the border wall that was built or whatever, it can be crossed just like any other wall. But then he also says that money and ammunition also go south. Correct. But in the video that I posted, Juliana and I kind of said that, like, you can break down these guns and you can make them able to cross. You put a wall in the way or any type of blockage, and they're gonna find some creative way around because that's how they live, that's how they get their money. It's not gonna just stop. Um, but then he talks about, how high tech security does exist, and they do use it, but you're not able to stop like these huge groups of people if that's how they cross. Um, but in my opinion, yes, the high tech security does exist, and yes, we do use it, but our government hasn't like paid for the amount of security that we do need on the border wall to be able to stop that amount of people. Like, you would need way more people, way more armed officials, properly trained, to accurately handle this situation for 1,900 miles. um, and then he says that, we may know when people come in, when they overstay our visas, but you could also move around, you could shred your identity. Like, people who overstay their visas basically have a free reign of going wherever they want in the United States. So it's harder for us to find them. And then he also talks about the federal budget, being able to pay for this, paying for the $60 to $80 million that the wall would cost. But the federal budget is budgeted tightly down to dollars. Each part of the government, submits a budget. It's pretty hard for it to be nudged one way or another, especially when it comes to $60 to $80 million for a wall, when that money could be spent, elsewhere in America. But yeah, that's my response. Thanks.